Are you tired of procrastinating? Are you tired of putting things off? I'm gonna do that next week. I'm gonna start my diet next month. Next year, I'm gonna make 2023 is gonna be the year I'm gonna lose all this weight. I'm gonna overcome these ailments. Not like that you won't, but I'm gonna show you the way that I was able to overcome procrastination. I used to be a chronic procrastinator. I'm gonna show you what I did to overcome that and get myself in a position where I could write a 500-page dissertation, get 2 master's degrees and a PhD, certificates, publish 8 books. If I had not made changes and overcome my procrastination habits, I would not have been able to do that. I'm gonna show you what I did. Stay tuned. Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Professor Spira, and I practice something called the Mucusless diet healing system. I've done so for over 20 years, and I've helped thousands of people transform their lives using the methods of the Mucusless diet healing system. And really quickly, I want to invite you to join my Mucus-free Life Insiders Club. You're gonna get 3 free PDFs with some wonderful, wonderful information, some free mucus-free recipes to help you bust and eliminate mucus and tapeworms and all that mess out of your body, as well as an introduction to mucus-free menu planning and some of my favorite mucus-free foods, top 10 list of mucus-free foods, all yours. All you gotta do is just sign up, totally free, and then plug into the community, and this will be your first test. Because don't put it off. Don't be like, I'll put that off later, I'm not gonna do it. Click the link right now and subscribe and get plugged in. And then it's like, there was that movie with Jim Carrey, it was like, say yes. You just say yes, just do that and get your journey started right now. Years ago, I was a chronic procrastinator. If it was possible to put something off, then I would. And I would always think like, well, when I'm older, I'll be able to do that, or when I'm do that, whatever the excuse is, I had it. And so I was unable to get a lot done. People thought that I got a lot done, but I would have been able to have gotten so much more done if I didn't have this procrastination habit. Now, when I started practicing the Mucusless diet healing system, so much of that started to change. Now, of course, I even put off, once I heard about the Mucusless diet, I actually put off getting the Mucusless diet book. And that's, sometimes I don't always tell that part of the story, but I do that's the extended story of how I got into the Mucusless diet. But I did what I tell people not to do. I heard about the information from my friend and mentor, Brother Ehret, and I went, and before I got the book and read the book, I tried to just do it on my own. I ate nothing but fruit for a period of time, and I was okay. It worked for me, but a lot of people do that and they mess themselves up. So please don't do that. Get the Mucusless diet healing system book. Another thing not to procrastinate on. But once I got the book and I read it, it transformed something in my mind and my understanding, where I was like, oh, it's the aha moment. It was like, I got this. And I started to transition and clean myself out. And eventually, I got to a point where I was operating on a much higher level than I was. I was able to get more done. I was able to study and just absorb information on a superior level. And this was because I had cleaned myself up and got myself onto the optimal foods. Now here's the thing, and this is what people don't like. That can take a while. It's not an overnight kind of thing. It's not like an immediate today, just change your diet and everything's gonna be great. You have to go through a period of symptoms that some people call it detox symptoms. We call it elimination symptoms. But we have to pay reparations. Once you understand and learn that the way we've been eating is diametrically opposed to Mother Nature,
then you have to pay reparations for that. And that takes time. That takes bed rest. Sometimes people don't like to do that. People are so used to eating food and then getting all hopped up and going out and yeah, I'm eating, you know, basically getting a high and going and running off of this stimulant, that when you are taking your body through a transformation of cleansing and healing, folks don't like that. They're like, man, I'm fatigued. I don't feel good. You know, all I want to do is lay down. So at first, it seems as if you're not getting as much done because you have to prioritize that period of elimination. It's so important that you prioritize that, make that the number one thing in your life to eliminate this waste and this poison and go through this transformation in your body. Number one, most important thing. Once you get through that, then it's like the world opens up for you. You feel so much better. You're able to think so much more clearly. And it was at that time for me, I had not planned on going on and getting a master's degree. I got my first master's degree in jazz trombone performance at the College Conservatory of Music. My original plan was I was just going to get my undergrad and move to New York and just be a struggling musician, just sort of play that role out. But once I got into the Mucusless diet, my desire, my whole outlook on what I wanted in life and my desires and all that stuff changed. And I realized that type of lifestyle wasn't gonna go with the new lifestyle, the old desires of wanting to run around and all these clubs and, you know, be on tour most of the year and be in some place like New York or something like that. That wasn't gonna go along with the kind of peace and tranquility that I had already experienced on the path of the Mucusless diet healing system. And so it was like, okay, you know, I had to make some changes, and I decided, well, I want to keep focusing on practicing the Mucusless diet healing system. What's the best environment for me to do that? And in my case, it was university. I was already there. It was like a safe haven. I had some scholarships. I had some, you know, just things that was kind of propping me up in that regard. And so I stayed in school and pursued a master's degree, which I was able to get in a year and a half. That's the period where, in terms of studying, I was able to read several books a day. I got into something called photo reading, which I won't talk too much about that. But what led me to that, or, you know, I had tried to do that before practicing the diet, actually. Just this photo reading, it's like a speed reading kind of thing. And it didn't work. I wasn't able to do it. But then in this period, once I cleaned myself out, and then I went and checked out some of these things, these high level kinds of techniques for just reading and study. You know, I became a student of study. I studied how to study. What's the best way to study? What's the best way to read a book? What's the best way to absorb information? You know, I'm very much a research reader. There's different types of readers. Some people like to read from first page to the end, or it depends on what you're reading to, you know, if you're reading like literature versus nonfiction or something like that. But I'm very much a research reader. So when I'm reading, which is in alignment with something like photo reading, because you always want to have a goal, you know, a question. There's something that you're trying to achieve as you're reading, and that helps you absorb the information or whatever it is you're trying to do. And so, you know, I got into that. I was reading multiple books, watching sometimes 10 documentaries in the matter of a day or two. I was just constantly going through and just absorbing so much, and it felt so good. I wasn't able to do that before, but I always had wanted that. See, the ideal of the intelligent, educated kind of person like that, that's what I looked up to, this kind of ideal. And I found that amongst musicians, in the older musicians from back in the day, you know, the Charlie Parkers and some of these guys, where they just said that these guys were brilliant, that they could talk about any subject. They could go from talking about, you know, theoretical physics to spirituality and world religion and whatever. You know, they just, these intellects. And so that was something that I desired to, in the way that some people look at pop stars and they want to be like that You know, they want to act dumb and ignorant the way that, you know, that's what's cool right now is just to act stupid. I wanted to be smart, you know, I thought that was pretty cool to study, to read a lot of books, and be able to functionalize that information, functionalize that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. So that's what I did. But before I could do that, I had to clean myself up. All of those desires, because I'd wanted to do that for a long time. But it wasn't until I started practicing the Mucusless diet, started cleaning myself up, that I was able to do that. And so I encourage you, get the Mucusless Diet Healing System book, start down that path, and you have to commit to it. You have to be all in or it's not gonna work. But commit to that transformation for yourself. And as you clean yourself out, as you go through the necessary detox symptoms that you may go through, that you probably will, depending on how you practice, you're gonna get to the point where, you know, procrastination, that's out the window. Like, what is it you're trying to do? What do you want to get done? What is it, you know, your whole, with the clarity, with the mental clarity, you get to a point where you're able to it's easier to take action. You get in the habit of taking the right action. I mean, we all take action. We're forced to take action every day. But how do you get to a point where you're not forced, where you're doing the things that you want to do, and you don't feel that like this pressure, you have to create this fake pressure where it just happens. The only way that I know of it where that really becomes the order of the day is once you clean yourself out and you get in line with the universe, get in line with, say, Mother Nature. Fruits and green leafy vegetables can have that kind of transformative effect on your body, mind, and spirit. So I thank you so much for taking this time, spending a little bit of time with me. We're talking about how to annihilate procrastination. And I'm saying, you clean yourself out. Clean yourself out. Get the slime, get the worms out. Can't talk about being a productive member of society and I'm getting a lot done and reaching all my goals, and you have a bunch of tapeworms and smelly slime that's just sitting in your colon, degenerating your colon, just making your whole being more and more toxic. Eliminate that. Eliminate that and see what happens. So I thank you again for tuning in, and before you go, I want you to take a look right here. This is an excellent video that has been hand chosen for you, selected specifically for you. Click it right now and I will see you over there. Peace, love, and breath.